is the whole like gentrification thing.
Yeah.
So what are your plans on, I guess, preventing the illicit gentrification, especially like, well, like my family's like from the Simpson Road, Vine City neighborhood, but like you got like the Pittsburgh area, like all of the areas where everything is booming. So how do you plan on preventing the illicit gentrification and also taking care of like the elderly people, the people that are on fixed income, and preventing them from being priced out of those neighborhoods?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go on Big Facts and tell people don't sell. Because the mayor ought to be going everywhere and open up every comment where don't sell. And if somebody is talking to you about buying your property because of a property tax situation, call me. Because the last I checked, I left the city with $200 million in cash. So I left the biggest cash reserve in the history of Atlanta.
In the history of cash reserves.
Yeah, so Atlanta has never had, when I walked out of the door for all that talk, I tell you what money wasn't missing, the $200 million. It was all there.
Yes. They gonna take a couple thousand and leave the $200
million was all there.
Fuck out of here, man.
So I mean, it was bankroll fresh.
All there.
So I believe that we started what's called an anti-displacement initiative before I walked out.
Okay.
It means you raise private money. So if I move next to somebody and I modernize my house, I push up the property values of the person next door.
Yeah.
And when their taxes go up, you take that money and you pay the increase.
The difference, yeah.
And then you need a grant program as well, because I moved into the neighborhood, your house shouldn't look junky. It's just dignity. Give me a grant. I mean, let me paint my house. Fix my deck.
Turn me up.
Fix my windows. Right? So we need a grant initiative. But the good thing about me and what differentiates me from other people, everything they say is a hypothetical. I did it. When I was mayor, I raised private money. I paid people's property taxes through this fund called the West Side Future Fund. It was my idea.
I remember that.
I named it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what it was for. And it was to pay people's property. So because what was going on was these people were walking up on, they were looking for tax liens, knocking on people's doors. People didn't have 7, 8, 10 grand.
Right.
The family didn't have 7, 8, 10 grand. And they would say, I'll buy your property for the tax lien, and maybe I'll put 5 on that. Or maybe I'll put 2,500 on that. Or I'll help you move into an apartment. And so my position is going to be the city has a massive amount of real estate.
Right.
I want to do deals, use the city dirt to help build affordable housing faster. The way that you drop the price on real estate deals is give them the dirt.
Right.
So you give them the dirt, you subtract that out of the overall project cost, and you get to build affordable housing faster. I'm also going to find out what happened to the $30 million Choice Neighborhood grant that I won that I can't see.
It disappeared.
I ain't seen it. I have not seen it. But I know I won it.
Yeah.
So there's a $30 million. Who knows? But I'm looking for it. And so biggest real estate on City of Atlanta, AHA, West Atlanta, Atlanta Beltline. All of those assets need to be put out so you can build affordable housing faster.
For sure.
It's one of the focuses that I think the mayor has rightly focused on, and I think she's done a really good job in focusing the city on affordable housing. The other thing we've got to do is the city has an awful lot of affordable units that working people don't live in. So when you see these high rises being built, if it involves municipal financing, we'll say there's a 10% set aside units for working people. Well, if you go back and check, you'll see that they didn't lease those 10% to working people. They have a person paying regular rent in many of those 10% units.
Oh, it's supposed to be prorated.
No. So if you weren't rich, that one of them 10% units was for you. They don't advertise it when you walk up to the building, and then they just start putting regular
people that are paying
in a
regular
unit
price.
that should have been. So if it's a market $3,000 a month unit, it should have been $1,650 for somebody.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to change somebody's life. If you've got a mom who's living in a building where the average rent is $3,000 and she's paying $1,500, well, her and her family are around what? They're around
affluence
affluence
people.
and wealth.
Yeah.
And they're mixed into the overall building, and it changes their life outcome.
Their perception of
So
everything.
I'm going to go through every unit and every deal, and I am going to audit to see who's living in these units. And if that, and
you can go in there and see what's going on?
exactly, I'm gonna look around, and I'm gonna go, how we doing? Where our people at?
Knocking on door to door.
Yeah, so if you look at Ponce City Market, Ponce City Market is a deal that was done where you're supposed to have a set amount of affordable housing.
Right.
You need to go and say, let me see all of the people in Ponce City Market, in the flats, they're beautiful, who are
Affordable.
medium and low income. Show them to me.
'Cause I know some people need them.
Exactly. My point is you have all these buildings and all these transactions, and it's just like, how we doing?
Right.
And
What are we
The
doing?
thing about having been there, like I did these deals. I'm not a bystander. I know what was promised. I know what should have been done. And like that's the need. And if we move the needle there, I think Atlanta's just gonna be. We're just gonna be on fire.
It's
What
gonna
about
flourish.
the zoning shit they try to make illegal for the Airbnb? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. You're gonna have to brief me on that.
No, they're saying like, you know how people rent properties
They're
and
trying to-
Airbnb them?
Yeah.
They're trying to make it to
Illegal.
where, because they've had, I guess, several issues with like Airbnbs and parties, and the parties at the Airbnbs, like resulting in violence and stuff like that. So I saw in the news, I'm not quite sure of the exact specifics, but they're trying to basically pretty much outlaw Airbnbs in the city and make it to where
For rentals.
if you're advertising that you have a property that you're putting up for rent on Airbnb, then you're going to be served with a citation because they're going to be quote unquote illegal.
You're like short-term rentals.
Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna have to get deeper on that. I don't have an answer to that right off the top of my head. So that's one where I just haven't caught up with that one yet.
Okay.
What's your takes on full marijuana legalization in Atlanta or Georgia, and what would you do if and when elected mayor to?
I think the marijuana scheme in Atlanta should be like the marijuana scheme in the city of San Francisco. I think we need to start with medicinal marijuana, and then I think we need to see how we do handle medicinal. I don't believe that we should start with wide open marijuana sales all the way across the board, straight out of the gate.
So no recreational straight out the gate.
Not out of the gate.
Okay.
But I think that we need to let everybody know that there's a there, so that the community and entrepreneurs can be prepared to adjust. I also believe in using the city's ability to either ban it or cooperate with it to make sure that Black entrepreneurs are at the table in a real way and not left by the wayside. So whatever the state passes regarding the marijuana licenses that they're reviewing right now, in my mind, the city should have a vote on what is going to happen with how that business sets up and operates in the city. And we have to have a goal consistent with what we do at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport with Black and women participation. Period, full stop.
What about those incarcerated, though, that might have got harsh sentences for marijuana charges?
Their sentences should be reduced consistent with the modern state of the law. No question about it.
Okay.
But that issue, along with this entrepreneurship issue, is the one that's not getting enough attention.
Right.
I mean, because right now, Black people aren't the people who are benefiting off the legalization of marijuana, while Black men sit in jail and rot.
There you go.
Because they sold marijuana. And so there is a lot of righting of the ship that has to be done around marijuana. And I think that I'm the right person to do it.
Now, what would you say, like, when everybody, we know Kasim Reed is now running for mayor, there was a lot of love. And I'm sure you felt the love. But with the love comes the hate.
Yes.
So you talked about the AJC and the naysayers and the people and the accusations and everything. What would you say to the people that's on the fence that are not Kasim Reed supporters to get them to support you?
What I would say is that all of us live full lives with mistakes and terrific things that we've done. And what I would ask is that they view the entirety of my life and the entirety of my service. So you can certainly talk about the warts, the people who went to jail during my administration. You can certainly talk to me about whatever warts you want to talk about. But as long as it's viewed as the whole picture, it's the best economy the city had had in a generation. Crime was at 40-year lows. Teen crime was reduced 25%. Every single recreation center in the city of Atlanta was open. Every pool was open. Recreation center stayed open until 7 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. We started providing hot meals to up to 2,000 young people per day. AA plus credit from Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. 17 regional U.S. headquarters move into the city. Largest population influx. Atlanta's really 500,000. 20-year lease with Delta. If you view it all.
The full picture.
I mean, yeah. So it's the same way.
It's a no-brainer.
You would have to do it with Jordan.
Oh man, baseline.
So yeah, so
baseline.
As long as we're talking about all of it, we can talk about all of it.
Yeah.
So when I come in and do an interview with you all, I'm ready to talk about whatever we talk about. And to voters, you're not imagining that you were better off 4 years ago.